Hey, it's Carrie. I have some books to recommend today, but these aren't novels. These are books for like 20-somethings. If you're in your 20s, and they're books that can maybe like encourage you or inspire you or something. And I thought it would be good because I'm a 20-something, and that's who I'm like targeting right now. Because I'm 27, so I think if you're in between like 23, 24 to like 29, like that transitioning from like young adult to like adult stage, then I think some of these books would be good to read. They're all nonfiction, and they'll sort of like make you more comfortable and inspire you, and not make you like so worried or anything like that. So I have 8 books. I should say 8 books, and I'm gonna get to them right now. So, like I said, I have 8 books, and I decided to categorize them because some individual books can like tie into other ones, and I thought like if I group them, I guess it'll be easier to discuss them. So the first group I'm gonna discuss are books by comedians. And I have 3 of them. The first one is by Tina Fey, and this is Bossy Pants. And I mean, I love Tina Fey, and this book, it's more to encourage women, because I think that's what the target is, and it's basically Tina Fey's memoir. And if you're a woman kind of like growing up, then this would be a little good for you. And Tina Fey is really funny. I love her. I love 30 Rock. It was one of my favorite shows, and I think she's hilarious. And it targets more women. And a man could read it, and I mean, I have this, and I'm a man, so it's more to encourage, I guess, to inspire women if they're growing up, and if they want to be comedians, then that's even more perfect. So the next one is Yes Please by Amy Poehler, who I also love. And again, it's just a book that's written from the voice of a comedian, saying that like growing up is like, it's just another memoir, and talks about growing up and relationships and dating and getting through life. And that's another like kind of, it's like that's similar to Bossy Pants in a way. It's just from someone else, and that's why I decided to group them together with comedians. So that's kind of like what this is for, whatever I said about Bossy Pants. The next one is Seriously I'm Kidding by Ellen DeGeneres, and Ellen is so funny. When I read this book, I got it for my birthday actually, and it's pretty much short stories and anecdotes, and it's not really about anything. So this would be a good book to read if you need a laugh. When I read this, I was laughing like on every page, and it was hilarious. And it's just a bunch of like short stories and anecdotes, and it's not really about being specific, and except just Ellen being Ellen. And if you're ever going through like a really tough, emotional, moody time in your life, if you're like my age, then this would be like the perfect book to read, it just so you can laugh and cheer up, and it's really, really funny. So now I'm changing up the category a little bit, and lately I've been seeing books like in Barnes & Noble, basically books by YouTubers, but if they're like big name YouTubers, not like me or just a regular other YouTuber. These are people who have a lot more subscribers, and they've become famous through YouTube. And I'm going to feature books by 2 of them. This first one is by Helbig, and I'm putting the link to her channel down there in the description, as well as all the books I'm going to talk about. But Grace Helbig, she's a YouTuber, and it's called Grace's Guide: The Art of Pretending to be a Grown-Up. And this book has a lot of stuff in it. Again, it's like Ellen's. It's not about one specific thing, but this is about several other things. Like, I'm gonna just to name a few. She, talks about what to do in your lifestyle, like, and how to decorate your house. She talks about relationships, your social life, professional life. There's even recipes in here. She has some informal food mashups. It's like an informal cookbook, just like a chapter's worth of recipes, and it's also a funny book too. And she gives a lot of tips, a lot of do's and don'ts, and that's why it's like a guide. It's like a step-by-step sort of book, because there's a lot of stuff to do, and there's lots of lists of things that you could do in your life of how to pretend to be a grown-up. So this is a book to check out too. She talks about stuff like that, and yeah, her link is down there in the description. The next YouTuber is Justine Ezarik, and this is Justine, and it's a memoir, and this is a book if you're like a tech sort of geek, you could say, because she's a technology geek, and the book is about it takes us like behind the scenes, and she's sharing never before told stories about the hilarious and sometimes heartbreaking reality of living your life online, and she talks about like how technology has evolved. Like, as you can see on the cover, it's like one of computers from the 80s or 90s, and she's like mimicking a famous picture by Steve Jobs. And so if you're a technology sort of enthusiast like me, I am too, then this is a good book. It's a funny book, and she talks a lot about like living with like technology and things like that, and her link is down there in the description too. Okay, the next book doesn't really have a category or anything. It's just a book as itself, but it's the 20-something guide to getting it together, and it's a step-by-step plan for surviving your quarter-life crisis. It's by Traina, who she's a blogger, so I guess you can say she is sort of in the technology sort of category, but that other category is like YouTubers. But that's why I decided to feature this one after that, just because of like how media is involved. But because she's a blogger, and she writes for Zoe Deschanel's website, according to the back of the book. But it's basically what it said. It's a step-by-step plan for surviving your quarter-life crisis. And this also, like Grace Helbig's book, also talks about like handling money and handling living and relationships and dating and just social life, basically. So it's sort of like what Grace's book is like, but it's a little bit more serious, but it's still funny. It involves chapters about how to handle like money and like finance and dating and social life, and it's similar to Grace's book, basically. So whatever I said about that, but it's a little bit focusing on more serious issues and things. Now these next two books are Chicken Soup for the Soul books. This is Chicken Soup for the Writer's Soul. Because I'm a writing enthusiast, I love to write my own short stories, and I kind of like writing screenplays too. So if you know these Chicken Soup for the Soul books, kind of know what's expected, but in case you don't, they're pretty much short stories. It's a collection of short stories, and this one talks about, it's written from writers, and it gives advice on writing, and it talks about working with mentors and things like that. I'm looking for the table of contents, so it's like how they became writers, how to overcome obstacles in writing and learning to find your voice, dealing with mentors, and it also gives advice and insights and lessons, and it's a good book if you're a person in your 20s who wants to be a writer like me. Now the last book is Chicken Soup for the College Soul. That's pretty much the same as the writing one, but this is about college. And if you're and this doesn't really have to be just for people who are like starting out with college, if you're like 18 to like 21 or 22. But if you're a grad student, like I was 26 when I got a degree earlier this year, and it's also a book to read if you're in college, and it gives a bunch of like short stories on how to handle college. And like I said, it doesn't have to be just for younger 20s people who are in college. It's also for adults that are going to college too. Like if you're going to grad school or medical school or something. If you're an adult in college, it could also be a good book to read just to see how other people deal with, living in college and working with teachers and things like that. So those are books that I think are good for 20-somethings to read. For the two YouTubers, both their links are down there in the description, and as well as all the titles and the authors too of the books, if you want to find them down there too. So I hope you subscribed, and I'll see you guys soon.